I remember walking out of that exam, yo guys, I went to cry. I went to cry, and then I prayed. Like, when you go into these subspecialties, start making your notes already. This is how thick that urology book is. So imagine having to study one thick book of this, right? One thick book of urology, and then you still have another thick book of ENT, and then you still have orthopedics, and then you still have ophthalmology, and you're writing all these modules in one day. So yeah, no, it was rough. It was really rough. Hi there, beautiful people. Welcome to another video of Becoming Health Namibia. I am Miriam Matthews. I'm a 5th year medical student. So first of all, Happy New Year, and thank you so much to everybody that has been supporting us. But without wasting time, so this video will be a review on 4th year, which is the previous year. I previously did a video with my colleagues where we were reviewing 3rd year, how me and my colleagues found 3rd year. So I will be inserting the link somewhere up here or down below. So if you're interested, there's also that video to watch, but yeah, please watch this one first. So first of all, one thing I will say is that definitely God's grace carried me through 4th year. You know, just looking back at it, you do think and are just grateful that thank you, Lord, for these people. Thank you, Lord, for loved ones or friends. So definitely I think it also reminds you that you cannot do medicine alone. I don't think you can do other courses alone as well. You do need each other. You do need your colleagues. You do need your friends. So without wasting time, let's start with the rotations. So the rotations that we had in 4th year were pediatrics, which we rotated in for 6 weeks. Then we had internal medicine, we rotated in for 6 weeks. Obstetrics we had gynecology, which was also rotated for 6 weeks. And then we had the surgical subspecialties, which is urology, orthopedics, ENT, as well as ophthalmology. So yeah, those were the rotations that we had in 4th year. Okay, so I will say that the rotation that I enjoyed most, but it's not the same for everybody, doesn't apply to everybody, because when I asked my colleagues, some of them enjoyed gynecology more, some of them enjoyed ophthalmology more, but I genuinely enjoyed orthopedics more. I will say it's because they were very much inclusive, especially when it came to the morning meetings. You learn so much in the morning meetings, so take advantage of those morning meetings. You will learn so much, and for me it was to that extent where when I did my hospital placement at the end of the year, because we usually do COBES, which is community-based education, where you're placed in different regions across the country for 1 month. So when I did my community-based education in Enana, I was just like, you know when you know your things, and you don't need a book to remind you. You know how to know that, okay, this is an anterior or posterior shoulder dislocation based on the signs, because there are signs that show you or that can or are supposed to tell you whether this is an anterior shoulder dislocation, there's a posterior shoulder dislocation. You just know and you know your things, so it was that kind of situation. So for me, I actually loved that very much, because it just shows you, or it just helps you know that, okay, I'm actually learning. So everything that I've been learning from 1st year, 2nd year, 3rd year, 4th year, it's actually here, it's actually here, and I can actually easily apply it because I have been trained for this. So I generally enjoyed orthopedics. The morning meetings will teach you a lot. Of course, ward rounds as well. You just have to show that you're actually interested in learning, and it's not even a thing of show, because I think one thing I'm also getting to realize this year is that it's no longer a thing of, oh, I'm doing this for the consultants, they want me to be, in ward rounds, I'm doing this for the MO, I'm doing this for the coordinators, they want me to be at the hospital. No, you get to realize that you are doing this for you because of the process of training as a health professional that you are in. At the end of the day, you get to realize that, or I got to realize that I am going to be someone's doctor. I am going to be taking care of somebody at their most vulnerable state, and the same way I would want let's say my family members to be taken care of by someone who's actually good, you know, who's competent. It's the same way I would want to take care of people. And consultants or doctors keep saying that we want to train you guys to be our doctors. So I think when you approach any year, whatever year you're in, whatever health professional training you are in, I want you to approach it in a perspective of that I'm not doing this just for the logbook. I'm not doing this just for the, you know, to pass or for the marks. But let me do this because I am going to be handling these people. I am going to be, you know, I'm going to be accountable to helping people. I'm going to be accountable to saving someone's life. So I will genuinely say, when you are going through your rotations, don't go through a rotation with a mindset of, no, I don't like this rotation. I mean, some rotations, of course, you know, it's easy for you to think like that. It's easy for you to tell yourself that because, yeah, you'll understand when you see yourself rotating there. But I think it's important for us to develop that mindset of, you know, I'm not gonna hate any rotation, and also I'm not gonna give a sub-minimum effort. And I think that's what we tend to do most of the time as a medical students or health professionals. It's actually yourself that you're hurting, and I came to realize that for myself. You are basically hurting yourself. I'm basically hurting myself because that robs me of an opportunity to learn how to do, you know, that task. It robs me of an opportunity to know how to do that procedure. It robs me of the opportunity to actually be comfortable in doing something. And the reality is that, you know, what people keep telling us is that give your all to your work now, so that, you know, as you're progressing, you won't struggle, or even as an intern, you won't struggle because you allowed yourself to learn. And also, this is something that I'm learning for myself. Okay, so another thing about rotations is, do not go into a rotation without getting advice or tips or strategies from people who were previously there. These really makes it easy for you to learn. It makes it easy in a sense of it lessens the burden because you actually know how to maneuver in that rotation. You know how that rotation is like, you know what's expected of you in terms of clinical skills or just clinical thinking, you know. So it's very important that you get information, advice from seniors or people who were there, and also materials that can help you with your preparations during that rotation. That's something you cannot take advantage of. One thing I've learned, just like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, is that if it wasn't for God's grace and actually people, like certain people, so it's very important that you do not walk alone. Just don't walk alone. And also another thing is that you need to work as a team. There are so many instances where I remember how my team carried me, or how we carried each other as a team. Do not go in with that thing of sabotage, or, you know, trying to show, you know, I'm the best, I know most, or trying to look for favoritism. Don't try to sabotage each other. You guys must always have each other's backs. And even when you are correcting somebody, you know, you do it in a way that you actually care for your colleague, you know. So do not sabotage one another. You guys must have each other's backs. You will definitely need your group. They are the ones you're currently rotating with, and they understand the situation that you're currently in. So yeah, I feel like the rotations were actually really nice. They were amazing. Of course, there were preparations, which is now the end of rotation tests. But I think the one thing which I'm gonna get into now that kind of was a bit hectic. Not a bit, it was actually very much hectic, was the exam. Okay, so we wrote our exams back to back. Okay, so Monday we wrote internal medicine theory. Tuesday we wrote surgery theory. By surgery, I mean all 4 subspecialties of surgery, which is urology, ophthalmology, ENT, and orthopedics. Ne? All 4 subspecialties, which are actually different modules. Ne? All 4 papers were written on Tuesday within 3 hours. So, guys, so imagine studying for all 4 subspecialties to be written in one day. So that's how hectic it was. I remember walking out of that exam, guys, I went to cry. And then I prayed, but I went to cry because it was a lot. It was really a lot. So definitely make your notes already. Like when you go into this subspecialty, start making your notes already. Start having your preparatory materials already, and you actually go through, because I think spaced repetition is key if you actually do it earlier, so that when it's time, it won't really be a struggle. I mean, come on, look at the urology book. This is how thick that urology book is. So imagine having to study one thick book of this, right? One thick book of urology, and then you still have another thick book of ENT, which I had as a soft copy, and then you still have orthopedics, and then you still have ophthalmology, and you're writing all these modules in one day. So it was rough. It was really rough. Okay, so let's get back. So I said Tuesday we wrote 4 surgical subspecialties. Wednesday we wrote internal medicine OSCE, which was done at the hospital, and then Thursday we wrote. So this time maybe it was a bit better, but not really, because on Thursday we wrote orthopedics as well as urology OSCE, ne? So this time they decided, okay, not this time, but it's what they usually do, is that you write orthopedics and urology one day OSCE, all of them together, but of course separate modules, but at the same time. And then on Friday, it's ophthalmology and ENT OSCE. So I did say that orthopedics was the rotation I enjoyed the most. But there by the exam, guys, I think a tip I will give you is that do not undermine a topic. Don't undermine a topic, because that topic might be the one that comes in most in the OSCE, and you'll just be there like bats. I was expecting fractures, locations. Don't undermine a topic. Like, do not undermine a topic. You know that topic that you put away, that you put aside because you think that no, there are more important topics to learn. It's that one that's gonna come in the OSCE. So that's what happened with the exam. But I will definitely say that it was a hard time, and I don't think I'm just speaking for myself. I think I'm speaking for other people as well. But it was definitely a hard time. So I just hope that the improvements that the reviews and improvements that we suggested will be implemented for the people who are gonna be in 4th year as well. An energy drink was my best friend. After you finish one paper, you need to get grinding and study for the next one. I don't even think if there was time for sleeping, but I know definitely my energy drink really went through the most. So that's how hectic it was. So I think the second week was much better, because it was almost a bit spaced out, because our exam was in 2 weeks. We had to finish our exams in 2 weeks because we had to go do our community-based education placement across the country immediately after we finished. I don't know what else I can add regarding the exam, but I will just say that make your notes early. Really make your notes early. November is when you write your exams. November is far. Don't do that. I would advise, do your notes now, do your preparatory materials now, and I think also be consistent, which is also something I'm telling myself as I'm here in 5th year. So by the way, we're not doing 5th year in Bandung. 5th year is done in the north. I think also maybe just to touch a little bit on mental health, guys. Let's just say we all approach stress and anxiety and panic differently, but please do go to the campus has a psychologist. They are also is it peer promoters, what are they called? Yeah. The holiday was long, guys. Okay, it was actually short. Okay, but I think it's okay. They are peer promoters, so definitely go speak to somebody, go speak to a psychologist. You know, you need to start somewhere, and you'll see that it will actually help you. Please, 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 please do not turn to illegal activities as coping mechanisms. Don't turn to drugs, don't turn to alcohol, because long term, not even long term, these things will actually affect you. Because what happens when the effect is gone? Are you gonna turn to it again? That's how addiction is created. So do not, yeah. So mental health is very important. Already have a group of people, and a group that you actually trust, because the truth is some people are not to be trusted. Yeah. But thank you so much for staying to the end of the video.